Aaron Wilson covering the NFL for Pro Football Network, also spent some time at the Houston Chronicle covering the Texans and Deshaun Watson.
It's a situation where the Saints are a very attractive potential destination. I've talked to several sources that say the Saints and Mickey Loomis are very determined to try to get this thing done. And so far, everything has run smoothly in terms of proposals that the Saints have put out there. They were interested last year, too, and they're interested again this year. And, yeah, I think that the Saints are a team. I don't call anyone the front runner until they haven't met with him yet. But that's a team that I would really watch very closely.
What do you think the asking price is going to be for Deshaun?
3 first-round picks, a couple second-round picks, and then there's potential players that could be involved, like Cesar Ruiz, I think is one that would get on the list, possibly Ryan Ramczyk. So yeah, I think there will be some players involved in a potential trade. And obviously, the Saints have to do some more with their salary cap. What if they release Bradley Roby? I think that's possible, or do restructure his deal. There's some things like that I think could happen for the Saints to create. It's got to be $35 million. Another way to create the money far ahead here, protect his money against the suspension. If he was to convert some of the $35 million into a bonus, then you add future years to the contract, and you could also, if he has a very low base salary, if he's suspended, he's not having to give all that money in a suspension back to the NFL. So that's something I could see happening for wherever he goes.
Aaron, I know you were based in Houston covering the Texans. And a lot of people have asked us this question. What was his reputation before this news came out with the masseuse situation? Man, I don't remember anything.
There was nothing but community-oriented, friendly type of reputation. There wasn't any that people were, saying anything at all that was, an issue. Yeah, there was absolutely nothing. He had never been in trouble before. He had never had an incident. He'd never even, I think, had an argument. It just, literally nothing.
So basically, when he came out about wanting to be traded, then the allegations soon followed, correct?
Yes. It happened a couple months later. It wasn't, I don't call it that soon, a few months after. In January, he makes a trade request. In March, he's facing the first of the 22 civil lawsuits and asked for the trade. That obviously evaporated, and then he just was on the team the entire year but didn't play and was paid to not play. Was eligible to play, wasn't on the exempt list, but never played. And I would say they just didn't want to make someone play for them that didn't want to play. And then, the allegations, the grand jury
right.
declined. That's the same thing as being innocent. They declined to charge him. And so that's what people of Harris County, Texas decided. No charges. And it can't, unless there's something else, a new complaint filed on those 10 complaints, that's it. It's not a double jeopardy situation because he was never charged, but they have indicated, the Harris County District Attorney, that that's it. They're not going to go forward with the case at all. So he's just facing civil lawsuits. He's going to take his second deposition tomorrow at his attorney, Rusty Hardin's office. And this time he will not take the Fifth Amendment, Rusty Hardin told me, and we'll see what he does next. How does he answer those questions? I would imagine that based on what they've done before, it will be, it's not going to make any acknowledgments or admissions. I would imagine there'd be denials of whatever he's asked about, those massage therapy sessions. But again, I won't be there. That's a closed deposition to the press, and just like the grand jury. Grand jury is held in secret. Depositions are not public. They can leak the questions in the depo, I guess, later if they want to. That would probably be from the plaintiff's side.
Basically, I come back over the last 3 years with this. He's not only not one of the top 6 quarterbacks in the league, he's one of the top 6 players in the NFL. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. He's a dynamic player. He's someone that, regardless of position, he's one of the best players in the NFL. And he was the NFL passing yardage leader 2 seasons ago on a 4-12 team. He passes for nearly 5,000 yards.
One of the things I'll vividly remember, he won the Manning Award here in New Orleans. And afterwards, Dabo, he was holding court, so to speak. And somebody asked him to compare Deshaun Watson to somebody, and he said he's Michael Jordan in cleats. And, they had a few people laugh at that, and he said, you better stop laughing. He's that good. And he really snapped real quick with it.
He meant it, yeah. I remember talking to Dabo when they drafted him about that, and he stuck by by those comments. Dabo is someone that has always believed in Deshaun, always had just so much confidence in him. I think he's known him since the 9th grade at Gainesville High School in Georgia, and he just has so much respect and admiration for him. And they recruited him. They got a commitment from him pretty early, and the rest is history. He beats Alabama, and they win a national championship. And then everything with him was going extremely smooth with his life, even like business things he was doing, being a restaurant owner, having all these brands. And then, an incident like this, very serious allegations, very serious accusations that have been levied against him that has, really derailed his career. And I would, without talking to him, I would say, not a big leap. You saw what he said last week. It's been in his press conference. Very hard on him, very emotional. And it's taken over his life for the past year.
Is it too early to get a read on, who he leans to, who he favors a little bit? The Panthers or the Saints?
I don't want to speak for him, but I would say that the Saints should have a very good chance. You probably have noticed Michael Thomas and him hitting like on each other's tweets, things like that. Yeah, social media sometimes leaves some breadcrumbs, but it's also one thing that a lot of sources around the league told me. Michael Thomas could be like his DeAndre Hopkins, that big go-to guy, and he could have the chemistry and the collaboration that he had with DeAndre once again. And they have Alvin Kamara. They have a good offensive line. I think there's a lot of attractive things about the city. I'm going to get too far out of my lane here, but I'll ask you guys. Would you say that New Orleans is a place that would be willing to give someone a second chance if they not a recidivist or anything like that? They don't have a situation or accusations like this again. If he strikes the right tone when he's meeting everyone.
Aaron, we have a councilman in New Orleans that went to prison on corruption and is now back in office. So put that in perspective.
Aaron, it's easy.
So what you're saying is you think that New Orleans could be that they would be welcoming to Deshaun.
Yes.
If he's staying out of trouble, throwing touchdowns and winning games, then that would check all those boxes.
Oh.
Aaron, we had a governor years ago that went to prison, got out, and was reelected a governor again.
And he tried to run for representative after he was put in prison and got out. So, Aaron, I think that the thing is this.
Basically, you sort of agree with me that he would
fit. Here's the other thing.
Absolutely.
I really believe
those are things that people think about, right? If you're going to change, New Orleans is a fun city, great food, great people. They support their football team. It's in the South. I know they play in a dome, but it's cold in there. Obviously, when you cover a game, it's freezing. But it's warm weather. It's in the South. It's not far from where he lives in Atlanta. I think the Saints, and one thing a lot of people talk about with Mickey Loomis is Mickey Loomis gets things done. He's done a lot of things over the years where you'd be like, okay, that seemed like that would be tough to do, and then he gets it done. That's his reputation in the NFL, that he's a deal maker. And I would think he'd be a decent recruiter. This is like recruiting, guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's what these meetings are. It's him. They have to sell him.
Aaron.
So it's kind of like free agency. I guess we'll see what kind of salesmanship Dennis Allen has. What's he like at that? Hopefully he's got a lot of personality. I think the big thing I would say with Deshaun, it's not about wowing him. It's about being authentic, being a man of your word, just being normal. That's what I think he looks for in people.